Hi there, Chris from Moto Legends, the chap in the cap, here today to talk to you about a boot from Daytona. It's called the Strive GTX and it's a slightly sporty touring boot. Before I talk about the boot itself, I need to tell you a little bit about Daytona because frankly, they make the world's best motorcycling boots. They've been making boots since 1957. The company was set up by two brothers, Helmut and Reinhard Frey. They have a factory in Bavaria. The guys are still involved on a daily basis with the business. In fact, you can still find them occasionally on the shop floor. I've been to the factory to see Helmut at one end using one of the pressing machines to punch out some of the mouldings in the boots, and then Reinhardt will be at the other end of the factory sweeping the floor, making sure that things are running smoothly. These guys are immensely hands-on. They are obsessive about making sure that their boots are as good as they possibly can be. And few would deny the assertion that they have succeeded in creating absolutely wonderful boots. These guys have no desire to have a motorcycling empire. They are not interested in producing helmets, jackets, gloves, pants. They just want to make the world's best boots. And we reckon they have done. So this is the Strive. It is about as sporty as it gets in the touring range from Daytona. Daytona do some fabulous race boots. We don't do them, but those are boots that have an inner Kevlar carcass with an outer leather. They are the bee's knees in terms of protection as far as racing is concerned. We don't do those boots. This is about as sporty as it gets from Moto Legends. So let's talk you through it. One of the main things, of course, in any boot is the leather. Daytona have a different philosophy to most. They just go out and find the very best leather. They accept that it's the most expensive leather, that it's going to add to the price of their boots, but their philosophy is we're going to put the best components into our boots and the price is the price. If you want to buy into their boots, that's what you pay. If you want something cheaper, there are many other boots out there. This leather is hydrophobically treated in the tanning. So it's not leather where they've just added a treatment once the boots have been made. As the leather is actually processed, it's impregnated, it makes for a leather that is almost permanently hydrophobic. In other words, it repels the water. Clearly, the real waterproofing in a boot like this comes from the inner Gore-Tex lining, which we'll show you in a minute, but the fact that the outer leather does not soak rain in, even in heavy rain, only adds to the fact that this boot is going to stay drier and therefore in rain keep you feeling warmer. In terms of entry, there's a single zip up the side here, storm flap over that zip. You've got a full height waterproof gusset here, so water's not going to get in anywhere. Even if a bit were to get into the zip, it's not going to reach the foot. There's a neoprene edging around the top here, so if water were to come in and try to get down towards the foot, it's going to be soaked up a little bit here. In terms of protection, you've got a very tough toe cap, you've got a gear changer protector, a reinforced heel. This is a racing sole, which Daytona are very excited about. I'm not sure quite what it does. It certainly looks different from the touring sole. It's got a rounded back, and this is a carbon effect insert here. It's not real carbon, but it just adds to that slightly sporting look. You have on each side, you've got hard ankle protectors, but they are lined on the inside with open cell foam. So when you're wearing these boots, you cannot feel anything at all in the ankles. They're incredibly comfortable, which of course is a characteristic of all Daytona boots. You put them on, they feel like a pair of slippers. You've also got obviously an ankle protector on the inside. A hard plastic shin protector, but on the Strive boot, you've got extra protectors here on the front as you have here on the outside of the ankle. In terms of the main protection, the shank in the sole, which prevents any twisting in an accident, which is immensely important if you do come off the bike. If this can twist and turn, if something runs over the foot, you want a boot that's going to hold firm. What this boot has, like all Daytona boots, it has a number of components. The top component is just a standard anatomic inner sole. But then inside there's a full length plastic insole, and embedded into that is a galvanized steel inlay, and it's that inlay that gives the boots their torsional rigidity. The other feature that distinguishes this boot from most other boots in the range, in the touring range, is that it's got a titanium slider here. That is changeable, so if ever you did happen to wear them out, that can be replaced. Boots are not inexpensive. One doesn't expect a Daytona boot to be expensive. You can go and buy a boot that does pretty much everything that this boot purports to do for half the price. I've got no doubt of that. These are actually priced at £420, which is pretty much the same price as most of their other touring boots. The reason you pay extra, in our view, for a Daytona, okay, they're comfortable, they do everything well, they function, they're safe, they're really waterproof, they've got the best components. But when you buy a Daytona boot, you are in essence buying a boot for life. We have lots of customers who bring these boots back to us after 10, 15, even 20 years. Daytona will, for the life of the boot, undertake repairs. So if you manage to wear through the sole, bring them into us, we send them off to Germany, they'll replace the sole. They will replace the gear change protector, they will replace the entire inner waterproof membrane, they will replace the zips, they will do whatever you want. Now obviously there comes a point where if you're doing all of those in one go, you've reached the stage where you're paying the same money as a new boot. But if you look after these boots, they will last. They'll be riding for as long as you are. Now, the one thing that has to be said is that to make sure that Daytona will always repair the boots, you have to look after the leather. The one time that they refuse to take a boot in is if the leather is cracked. And the reason they won't take it in is if the leather is cracked, when they put on a new sole, for example, they cannot guarantee that it's going to be waterproof. And Daytona don't want to do anything and then find that the boot doesn't work as well as it should do. So if you're going to buy a pair of Daytonas, look after them. We recommend that you use their own leather restorers. Now, I'm not normally a big fan of buying add-on products from shoe manufacturers. As far as I'm concerned, it's normally polishes and creams that you can buy in any shoe shop. But this leather contains a very specific blend of oils and waxes, and their restorer reflects that blend of oils and waxes. I've used it. It doesn't look like anything else on the market. It is intended to be used specifically on Daytonas. Not expensive, and if you're just treating the leather, depending on your mileage, once a quarter, once every six months, just to keep the leather nice and soft and supple, then these boots are going to last and last and last. So these are the Strive boots from Daytona. If you are riding a sports tourer or a slightly more aggressive kind of sports bike, but want all the comfort and livability and protection that you get in a touring boot, then the Strives are certainly a boot that you should look at. If you'd like more information about them, visit the website www.motolegends.com. If you'd like to subscribe to our email bulletins, you could do that on the website. We have lots of little square tiles, as we call them, on the website, and one of those allows you to subscribe to our bulletins. We have new products into the building just about every day of the week throughout the year, and at that time, sometimes later in the week, we'll send out a bulletin saying this product has arrived and explaining what that product is and what it does. If you prefer to get your information videographically, then we would be delighted for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can do that on the subscribe button down below. If you want to go straight to the boots to read more information or even buy a pair, then you can click top right of the screen and go direct there. Anyway, we hope you've found this review of the Daytona Strive boot of interest. I have been Chris. Look forward to talking to you again soon.